LV55 Media LLC presents the Heroes of Montford Point interview series featuring Montford Point Marine Alan Williams, hosted by Patricia Williams.
Mr. Alan Williams, thank you so very much for taking the time to sit and talk with us today. So tell me, first tell me, were you drafted or did you enlist in the Marines?
I enlisted in the Marines. I was going to a trade school, which at that time they called them trade schools, now they call them technical schools, down in Stamford, Connecticut. And this young man I've lived in Norwalk, Connecticut, and we had to go to Stamford to the school. And this young man told me one day on the train, he says, "Yeah, I'm going to join the Marine Corps." And he happened to be a white kid. And so I said, "Okay, I'll join too." So we both went down and signed up, and I got taken in, and I don't know what happened to him.
Wow, how many years did you spend in the Marines?
I spent 4 years. I went the first 3, I signed up for 3, and then when I went down to check out why I wasn't getting discharged, they says I had the Truman year. So then I had to spend another year in the Corps.
What was your most memorable time, or your most memorable thing that happened to you while you were in the Marines or while you were at Montford Point?
While I was at Montford Point, the most memorable thing that happened to me while I was at Montford Point is I was accused of being a chow hound.
Oh, what? A chow hound?
A chow hound. That means I love the food.
Oh, really?
Only because at these long tables they had, one guy at the end of the table would grab all the meat, and when it get to me, I didn't have anything, so I just grabbed all the peas. And that way I was a chow hound.
Oh,
the peas spread all over the place.
Wow. So that name sort of stuck with you for a bit, huh?
Throughout the Corps.
Oh, it did.
In fact, my wife calls me a chow hound now.
Oh, really? Wow. So, so as a Marine, what was your job? What was your main?
I was a 3531 truck driver, light maintenance mechanic in the Corps, which I did during my time in the Corps. And then I got different jobs, If we want to go right back to the beginning of Montford Point, when I got out of Montford Point, I was about 3 weeks in the point when they shipped me overseas to Guam. And when I got to Guam, I was there, and it seems like as though there was nothing going on. So all of a sudden they says, "Well, we got an athletic boxing team coming up." That's where I went out for the boxing team, and I won the championship there on Guam. And the next thing you know, I was going to Hawaii and Guam again, and back to the United States. In fact, I ended up in San Diego.
Wow. So tell me about someone who you boxed with, who I may know.
You may have heard of a young man called Joe Lewis, whom I met the first time as a Marine. Me and a guy named Russell and McCarthy down in Camp Pendleton. That was about like in 1940, 49, 50, something like that. And then the next time I met him in the ring in Tokyo, Japan, 1950 in November. And we had exhibition fight there, and then we exhibition again in Yokohama twice. I exhibition with him, and I thought I had him all set up, but like they say, you never go to the well more than once or twice. I went there the third time. I slipped under his jab, and I hit him in the gut, and I was great, in and out. And that happened twice, and the third time he caught me, and I ended up on the deck, canvas. So, and afterwards he gave a nice interview, complimented me on the fact that I was hitting pretty hard and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. That must have been quite nice.
Yeah, he was a nice guy, Joe Louis.
Mm-hmm.
This was right after he had gotten knocked out with Rocky Marciano.
Oh.
And the fact is, he was trying to make a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and when he made which didn't happen really.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a very interesting story about your time sparring with Joe Louis. I'm sure that
Yes.
was very interesting. Now you have a medal here on your cap. What is that? What does that medal represent?
Well, after our exhibition with Joe Louis in Tokyo, they presented me with this medal that says it's between the governments of Japan and the United States. And that's pretty much the significance that I knew of.
Nice.
I didn't know really how deep it went.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, why should the young people, why should the young Marines remember the Montford Point Marines?
Why should
In your opinion, yes.
In my opinion, why should the young Marines of today? That would give them something to look forward to as far as to see the struggles that we went through to maintain ourselves in the Corps and to present ourselves in a position where more of the minority people would be involved in the Corps.
Yes, I agree. So what's your opinion of us having our first African American president?
Well, I can say this, Barack Obama, I was surprised that he got elected, although I voted for him. You know, it's amazing, and it's a great progress in this country to have a man like that be president. And I hope that the House will do the right thing and fall in line with the president and do the best thing they can for the average person of this country.
During your time in the Marines, what would you say was your most challenging or your most memorable time?
Well, I can think of several, but I can go back to boot camp. That's where I always like to start. That's where you start in boot camp. And the first thing I can remember is the hardship that you went through during training. Plus, when you go to the mess hall, which you call the chow hall, and then when you get there, somebody on the other end of the table's got all the meat, and I'm trying to get the meat, but there's no meat, and all I can find is a bowl of peas. So I put the peas in my plate, and they spread all over the plate, and they call me a chow hound. And then I had to wear a double transport pack of sand on my back for a week. Those are the things that I think about.
Why was that? Why did you have to wear the sand pack?
I was being punished for being a chow hound.
Oh.
I'm not supposed to be, and all I had was the peas, and all I had a couple of spoons of peas, and you know, the peas will run all over everything, and I didn't get any meat.
Wow. Hopefully that didn't last too long.
No.
Wow. Well, sir, I thank you so very much for sitting down with us today. And is there anything else you'd like to share with us, or anything else you'd like to share with the public or different ones who will be seeing this documentary?
Well, I like to say that any young person that wants a career, they should consider the Marine Corps, because it certainly will make you a man, or you won't make it at all.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's what I believe.
Great. Thank you so very much.
And thank you for the opportunity to even have a couple of words to speak this evening.
You're very welcome. The pleasure was mine.
Thank you.
Special thanks to Jimmy Michael Truitt and the National Montford Point Marine Association. This episode was recorded on location at the 4 Points by Sheraton San Diego, California on August 22nd, 2013.